Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live session. Yeah, streaming live on the Africa Enlightenment Center. And today is going to be very brief. We're going to be talking about the most dangerous weapon created by man. The most dangerous weapon created by man. That's what we're going to be talking about. So I welcome everybody to this live session. So if you have anything to contribute, just drop it in the comment section. You can support us in this live by sending us super thanks, super stickers and super chats. You can support what we're doing. What we're doing actually is bringing religious, political, and social enlightenment to the world, especially Africans who seem to still be in the dark when it comes to enlightenment. So there's so much that's going to come your way. Gradually, we are opening our borders to actually tackle the issues, the real issues that has to do with religion, politics, and our social life in our societies. Everybody wants an ideal society, right? But how do we get an ideal society? It's difficult to get an ideal society when more than 80% to 90% of the population of any society are ignorant people. So when people are ignorant, when so many of the people are ignorant, they are led by maybe a few folks that a little bit enlightened in a way, being on the negative. So the more people become enlightened in any society, the better that society gets. In Africa, the level of ignorance is very high, and that is the reason why you see Africa the way it is. But I'm thankful that a generation has risen, a generation of young people, they've risen to try to right the wrongs and and make things work. All right. So we're going to be talking about the most dangerous weapon created by man. So when you hear the word, was the most dangerous weapon ever created by man, or was the most dangerous weapon created by man? If you Google it right now, Google is going to tell you that the most dangerous weapon that was created by man is actually the nuclear weapon, is nuclear weapon or nuclear weapons. And they talk about the atomic bomb and all that. You see that? That's what you get. But if you think about it, all right, if you are somebody who is a thinker, if your mind sees beyond the ordinary, or actually a good thinker, you will understand and know that when we talk about weapon, it is beyond just physical weapons like cutlasses, like guns, like bombs and all that. It's beyond that. All right. Even that weapon, the atomic bomb, was created by the mind of man. It is the mind of the man that created those weapons. So man's mind is so powerful that it can create anything, right? Even this system I'm using to talk to you was created by the mind of man. So man thought about it, somebody thought about it, conceptualized it, and made efforts to make it work. You see that? That is the reason why I'm able to talk to you through this platform, because somebody conceptualized it. All right. So atomic bomb was conceptualized by somebody. So man's greatest power is in his mind. And that mind has the capacity to create anything. Look at AI today. It was created by the mind of man. And one thing we have not actually looked at very critically is the issue of religion, right? The issue of religion. One of the most powerful tools, that was created by man is religion. and to reveal it immediately, so that we can start, the discussion proper, or start talking proper. The most dangerous weapon ever created by the mind of man is God, right? The God delusion, the concept of God, is the most dangerous weapon that was ever created by man. Because through that weapon, so much havoc and so much damage has been done to humanity. You can Google it right now. Look at the wars of history, right? The wars of history. The most devastating wars of history have been religious wars, wars that have been caused by religion. The atomic bomb, or the bombs that have been created by man, right? If you look at what it has been used to do, the damage it has been used to do, you cannot compare it to the damage that religion has done. Religion has kept a huge population of the world, more than, should I say, 80% of the world's population are living in ignorance because of religion, because of God, because of the concept of God. The creativity of most of the people in the world has been, killed or destroyed by that concept of God, by that belief in God. Google it right now. The wars of religion has actually destroyed more than 7%, of the world, compared to 2% by other causes. So religious wars have claimed lives up to 7%. 7%. You see that? 7%. And the other cause is just about 2%, all right, of casualties. So religious wars have destroyed more people. And what is the cause of religious wars? It is beliefs in gods, right? Now, take for example, when you have a book, a holy book, written about a particular god, let's say that is Yahweh of the Jewish people, that was now, recreated into Jesus Christ by the Romans. This God, this book called the Torah was written. And in the Torah, in the Bible books, and the prophets, the Torah and all that, these people are told that wherever the sole of their feet tread upon, they shall possess. Just think about that statement for a moment. So this God thing, this religion, empowered these people to go out and destroy other tribes. It gave them that superiority complex over other tribes, over other people. And that is how religious people are. People who believe in God, they have this superiority complex. They believe, or they think, that they are better than every other person. They are more privileged than every other person. Today, the trouble that is in the Middle East is caused by religion. Muslims believe that they own the land. Believe that they own the land, that their God, the Yahweh, which is the father of their Jesus Christ, created by the Romans. They believe Yahweh them to the people of Israel, even Christians, both Jews and Christians, they believe that that land was given to them by their God, right? And so they were empowered to go and conquer. And they wrote a lot of false history around the land, that Abraham did this and all that, and then he got the land from so and so person and all that. So a lot of false history written about certain places, a certain land. And now fast forward to the 1800s, 1800s. Look at the Americas, how the Spanish expedition went there in the name of the Pope, in the name of God, right? And claimed the land and took the land and destroyed the Aborigines. Even Australia, in so many places. Look at Africa. They came to Africa with a gun in one hand and the Bible in the other, on the other hand. Look at the Arabs, how they came to Africa, how they conquered, Asia and so many other places that they conquered in the name of their God, right? They believe that their God owns the world, owns the earth. And as a result, they have rights over every people in the world. Those who do not believe in their God, which means they don't have the rights. Oh, sorry. Sorry, there's a power cut. Uh, I'm going to be right back, please. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be right back. I'll be right back, please. Let me fix the electricity. Sorry, guys. I'm back. We're in Nigeria and electricity is not stable. So I got to go and switch to generator. So before the power cut, I was talking about that sense of superiority that religion gives to people. Now, the Bible says that wherever the sole of your feet shall tread upon, you shall possess. So these people believe that their God owns the earth. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Even Muslims believe that their God owns the word. What weapon can be more dangerous than that? The human mind is capable of doing so much evil, whether good or bad. The human mind has so much power. And one of the things that has empowered so many people to do so much evil is the God delusion. So it makes some people feel that they are more advantaged than other people. They are more precious. They are more, they're better than every other person. Now, every tribe, and this thing is in every tribe, all of the tribes of history, they have their own gods, right? And they fought wars in the name of their gods. They fought wars to take property, to take land, to take different, countries. All of the nations you have in the world today, some of them were acquired by wars that were generated by religious beliefs. Today, if you look at the Middle East, the problem in the Middle East is a religious problem, is a problem that is generated by the belief in God. Because all of those laying claims to the land believe that their gods gave them the land. See that? They believe that their gods gave them the land. The Muslims believe their God gave them the land. They built the mosques there. The Christians believe that their God owns the land, so there's a church there. And then the Muslim, the Jews, they have their own structures also. So the war in that place continues, and religious sentiments are used to continue to push the war, while those who are using these things to push the war are benefiting from it. The political class, the political elite, they're benefiting from it. They always use religion to push their agenda. They use religion to cover up. But the main push is the resources in the land. Look at what's happening in DR Congo today. What are they fighting for? They're fighting for the resources in the land. They use all kinds of narratives, both religious and ethnic narratives, to push for what they want. And the biggest of them all is religion. You see that because people are always afraid of the unknown. They don't know what's going to happen when they die. So they believe that there's a special place they should go to. They deserve more than they're going to have. They want more life. They don't want to die. They just want to live on and on and on and on. And that is used to trap them to believe that there is a God who can give them immortality. The quest for immortality. That there's a God who can give them immortality. And then they believe this thing, hook, line, and sinker, and then it is used to manipulate them. And God has been used to manipulate billions of people over thousands of years and all that until today. And it's worse in Africa. It's worse in Africa. See that? The average African man believes that God will provide his needs and all that. Doesn't have to, do all the hard work, the mental work and all that. So majority of the population just so relaxed, no innovation, no initiatives and all that. And they allow the political class to use this religion to manipulate them. That is the reason why you have the richest pastors in the world. They're from Nigeria. In the whole of Africa has produced the richest pastors you have in the world, but the poorest congregations in churches. You see that? Even in Islam, the poorest population of Muslims, you have them right here in Africa. And it's a pathetic situation because of this belief in God. It has done more harm than good. It is the greatest, the most dangerous weapon that was created by man so far. No other weapon matches it. You can Google, like I said before, the results of wars that have happened. You know, the most evil things that have happened in the world have been caused by religion. And what is religion? Religion is a product of the God delusion. It's a product of the God delusion. And when I mean religion, I'm talking about all the forms of religions that have come through the age, that have come through humanity, all the forms of religion that have come through humanity, whether it's traditional African religion, they have their own, bad sides to all religions, because there is that superiority factor. They believe they're superior, they're better than every other person. You see that? So they deserve life more than every other person. They want to go to heaven. They want to go to a special place. There's a special place reserved for them. So they revere, that privilege so much. They want to protect it, right? They want to protect it. They want to protect every resource that they've got in the name of that God and all that. So all of the holy books, especially the books of Christianity and Islam, always talk about, what God has given to them, what their God has given to the land. Their God is the owner of all the earth. Who can fight against him? Who can do this and all that? And most of our governments across the world are built upon religious tenets. See that? There's still there. Elements of those is still there. Look at in Africa, in Nigeria, in the northern part of the country, most of the states are ruled by Sharia law. All right. This is religious law. So most of the states are ruled by Sharia law. And recently, the legislators have been trying to pass a bill to make sure that those who don't drink alcohol, states that make sure they ruling by Sharia, and trying to make sure that alcohol is not sold in their states, that use Hizbah police to destroy cartons of alcohol every year, every month, every day, and all that, that they don't benefit from the tax on alcohol, because the states, they share this money, the tax that's coming from alcohol, they share it. But they use religion to destroy people's businesses that are selling alcohol in their states. You see that? But they want the money from it. You can see that religion is just used as a political tool to control people. But the money from it, they want the money, right? But they destroy the goods of people from which the money is coming. And there's a long battle over the legislation to stop it, so that those who do not want alcohol in the state do not benefit from the tax that is coming out from it. So you see some of the effects of religion. You know, as I'm talking right now, I believe you're figuring out some of the things that you've experienced with religion, or the things you've read, or the things you've learned about what religion, the harm religion has done. Division of families. Look at, for instance, Bible says, I came to bring a sword, between father and children, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, a sword between them, and all that, which means religion actually is not for peace, right? Not for peace. And we know the other religion, Islam, is not actually a religion of peace. If you look at it from the antecedents of this religion, from what this religion has done or what this religion does, it's not for peace, right? So religion actually has done so much damage. Look at families, destroying families. Look at marriages, marriages. Most of the marriages you have are conducted according to religious rites. I'm not sure I've actually seen much of secular marriages in our societies. Most of them are religious marriages, and one of the reasons why marriages are having real tough time and issues is because of the religious undertone, to marriage. All right, the understanding of marriage from the religious point of view, or religious perspective, and religious morality, that is involved in marriage, not just marriage, the society. So religious morality has been a major problem, and it's a product of God. So all of these vices and so many more are a product of the God delusion. All right. So at this point, if you have any questions, or you have something to contribute, just type it in the comment section. I'm going to see it. Comment section, I'm going to see it. And I'm going to pin your comment. If you send us super chats, I'm going to pin your comments, and you're going to see it live. So you can support us by sending us super stickers, super chats, so that we can bring you more, because there's so much more we are going to bring to you. And we're going to be inviting so many guests to come and speak and talk about certain topics that will bring enlightenment, to our society. And please do share this live stream so that others can benefit also. Thank you for sticking with us. So to continue, this God thing has led to the destruction of so many families. If you are in a particular family and you do not believe in this God thing, you'll be ostracized, you'll be persecuted. The persecution that comes with it. I remember when I got tired of religion, I remember what I went through in the hands of my family. Remember what I went through at the first, time before I became, strong. I remember what I went through. It wasn't easy for me. But one thing about me, I've been a tough person right from childhood. I've been able to, go through a lot in my life, and been able to bear a lot of things. So it was difficult, but I was able to, scale through. Just see what you go through when you decide not to believe in this God thing. It's not easy. The trauma, the attacks. You talk about the even economic sabotage that goes with it, because when you leave religion, they want to prove that their God is punishing you. All right. So they want to deprive you of everything good in life. They will do everything to strangulate you, especially economically, to prove that, God is punishing you for living, and all that. In Islam, you might lose your life if you're not careful and all that. So, but in Christianity, it's systematic. They do it systematically, the persecution, because Christianity has been reformed to an extent that they no longer do it the Muslim way. But it was like that in the early, years of Christianity. It was like that. The persecution was so strong, just like the Islamic way. But they don't do it like that anymore, because of a lot of reforms that have gone in. Islam is very rigid, difficult to reform. But Christianity is a little bit flexible, kind of. I think that boils down to its root in a way, and all that, because it was initiated by the democratic Roman leadership, right? We're going to talk about that in other live videos or other videos. We're going to talk about the origins of Christianity, how Christianity was born, and all that has gone through, in the early years of Christianity. We're going to talk about that. But today we're talking about, God, the most dangerous weapon that's created by man. So this God thing, right, has made a lot of people to gamble with their lives, to believe all sorts of things, to believe in, some kind of miracles, as in to become lazy, especially in Africa. A lot of people are lazy because of this belief, that God will provide for them. So it says, I think one of these proverbs or so says that God gives his beloved, sweet sleep. He takes care of them while they are asleep. He makes a way for them or makes provision for them. So people believe these things. Instead of working hard, instead of putting effort to make things work, they just relax and believe that, something is going to happen, to their favor, because they just believe in a God and do whatever the God asks them to do. But all of this is man's manipulation. It was man that created God, and all the ideas, the rules, the laws, the whether moral laws, ceremonial laws, all the kinds of laws that come with religion or any God were created by man. So somebody posing to be the mouthpiece of that God, of that deity or whatever, and the person says, "Oh, this is what God demands," because I've not seen a place where, I don't think you listening to this or watching this, I don't know whether you've seen anywhere, whether where when or where any God appeared from the skies or from anywhere, and it's like, "Here I am, I'm God," and all that. It's always somebody, one person, coming out to say this is what God has said. And then maybe another person follows him or her and says, "Oh, yes, it's true. I've experienced it too. This is what God has said. This is God, and this is what you must do to please him. He is the creator of the whole world," and all that. And the funny thing is, these experiences, that lead to these conclusions that created religions, all of us have had at one point or the other some of these experiences. Yes, but not all of us have been bold enough, to come out and create a religion out of it. All right. We've had experiences where, I don't know, maybe you that is listening or watching this live, you've sometimes had the kind of revelation that is claimed to have been had by, the Apostle Paul, in a dream or in a vision, you see, like an appearance of a figure that is stronger than you, more powerful than you, and then it talks to you and all that, gives you instructions or tells you one thing or the other. And then you've had, vivid visions or vivid dreams. You've heard, words that you turned around and you didn't see anybody talking to you, but it's like somebody was talking to you and all that. Maybe you were alone and you started hearing voices, or you had a dream and somebody told you to go and do something or to go and tell somebody something. We've had these experiences, all right? And these experiences are the experiences that people have claimed to be from, supposed supreme deity who created the world, right? Yes, of course, because that's how every religion has its own root. You see that? Look at the Quran. We are told that the prophet was, I think, got his revelation from an angel in a cave and all that. and then he recited it, right? And then you look at the Bible, Jesus Christ, said we were told that a voice spoke from heaven, and all that. He was sent from the Father, a voice spoke to him from heaven, and people confirmed it that this is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. But historically, we've come to understand that this Jesus factor, the walking on water, um, all those things are mythology, right? And especially Greek, Roman, and all that mythology. And all this mythology were stolen and they were redacted, they were, retouched and incorporated into, create, and stories were created, other stories were created out of this mythology. You see that? So we've had these experiences that people claim to be from a divine source and all that. So which means all of us are prophets, right? All of us are, like even Bible claims so, right? But is it really true? You see some people claim superiority over others as the divinely called, to lead other people and all that. So instead of human beings to come together and say, okay, what are the best ways we can live together? How can we make society work? Some people believe that a few persons knows what everybody should do because they've had some dreams or had some special visions, or they've heard some special voices that have told them what they should do. And the one that scares me most is Islam, that claims that they have the final message for all humanity. That's the final message. That's all every human being should do. Nothing more to do apart from obeying, Islam. You see that? Obeying the words that came down according to them through the prophet. That scares me. You see that? Because anybody can claim to be that or claim to say that and say these are the final words, from the Almighty, the owner of the world, or and give it a name, or give him a name, or give that thing a name, and say this is what everybody should follow or what everybody should do. Anybody can create a religion. And I think the problem here is that majority of people have not taken life serious, especially in Africa. If we've taken life seriously, then we would have been able to conquer, religion and be able to live above the superstitions of a supreme deity or a supreme God that is over people, that is, ruling over the world, that is the Almighty and all that. Everybody should obey him. Everybody should love him. If you don't love him, he's going to throw you into hellfire. Even Islam believes that it's going to throw you into a hellfire and all that. And then you come to primitive religion in African societies. If you There are certain things you shouldn't do. If you do them, you need to appease the gods. You need to slaughter animals, to do certain things to appease the gods. All of these are in even the other religions too, and all that. So there's a whole lot that has happened in the world, a whole lot of damage that has been done in the world because of this name God or this word God. So until we make it look so ordinary, until we prove how ordinary that is, and we prove that everything is a product of the imagination of man, with clearer evidences, not just talking, with clearer evidences showing the ignorant population from their books how ordinary this thing is, how it was generated through their books, through logic, through critical thinking and reasoning, and helping them to see beyond what they see, beyond the emotions, because religion works on people's emotions. You see that? It is people's emotions that religion uses to work on them, that those who are the custodians of the different religious movements, they use people's emotions to work on them. So until we get to that point where we're able to break these people and pull them out of the place where they think or reason or do everything by emotional impulses, and then they begin to think and use their brains to actually think logically and reason things out, it will be difficult. So that is where we need to get to bring this weapon down, to be able to destroy this weapon of confusion that is, religion. which is the weapon of mass destruction, which is the God delusion, to bring it down, we must begin to continuously elevate sound reasoning, sound logical reasoning, and using the same weapon that has been used to enslave these people, which is the holy books, to loosen them, explaining these things, using their own experiences, the experiences that are claimed to be divine, making them look ordinary, making them see how ordinary these experiences are, because everybody has those experiences, except you're not paying attention to your subconscious. If you pay attention to your subconscious, you will have even more. For instance, myself, yeah, when I was still a Christian, I had those experiences that I claimed to be from God, the divine, from the Bible, whatever, and all that. Right now, I still have experiences, even though I'm no longer a Christian. I still have those experiences every day. So it's a normal thing. And one thing I tell people is that these experiences, there's something that humanity has not actually explored. We've not explored them. What is the source of these experiences, and what is the use of these experiences? Some people are using them to manipulate other people who have not been able to understand who they are, understand themselves as human beings, and all that. Some people are using the experiences to manipulate them. But we can actually use these experiences to liberate them from the God delusion. I think I'm going to end it here for today. I want special shout out to every one of you that's watching, and every one of you that shared it or is going to share this live. And I want to appeal to you. If you can support us. You can send us super chats. You've seen it right there on your screen. You click super chats, you send us super chats, or you click super stickers and send us super stickers. And on our videos, you can also send us super thanks to help us, bring you more. We want to get more gadgets so that we can expand our broadcast. We have a discussion and debate segment that we want to expand, but we need some gadgets to do so. Thank you all for watching. So I don't know whether you've been able to get the message that the most dangerous weapon created by man is God, the God delusion. You can do your research. Like I tell people, I do not force people to. I do, religion makes people to believe. Forces people to believe. For instance, in the Bible, they told that blessed are those who did not see but believe. So you believe without evidence. You just believe because somebody claimed to be something, or claim to be anything, or claim something. You just believe it. You see that? But if you are not a religious person, you don't just believe. You have to have evidence. You have to study it. You have to check it out. So it's important, right? It's important that we begin to make these people see what we are saying, providing enough evidence for them. And I charge every non-believer to study these books. If you've not studied these books, the holy books, go and study them. Understand them. Understand what is used to hold these people captive from the holy books. The foundations of the chains, mental chains that have been used on these people. Understand the foundations, and you can be able to use them to break these people free. So at this point, I'm waiting. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section. You can drop your questions, or if you have anything to say, just drop it in the comment section. All right. So thank you very much, all of you that joined. I want to encourage you to key into this channel. You can be our guest, in any of our discussion segments. If you want to be our guest in the next discussion, you can drop a message. You can drop a message. All right, drop a message, and I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna reach out to you. Just drop a message. This is the number. Number is on your screen. That number is on WhatsApp. You can call that number, or you drop a message for us. When you drop a message, we're going to get your message. Okay. So at this point, I'm waiting for your questions. It's important whether you understand what I'm saying or not. Sometimes your questions can help people who don't understand to understand, or people who've not actually paid attention to certain things to begin to pay attention to them. This is a time that those of us who have reason to challenge the conventions that have been ruling out, with which our people have been dominated, or with which our people have been ruled for thousands of years. These conventions, those of us challenging them, it is time for us to expand, what we're doing, to create room for people to, actually have the answers that they've been waiting for, they've been looking for. For instance, when you talk about dreams and visions and all these things, a lot of people just dismiss them and say, they're nothing, they're just illusions, they're just this and all that. No, it's beyond that. You have to explain, you have to make these people know what is the source of these things to the best of your understanding, because they have the experience, they have it, you can't deny it. You can't deny the experiences, right? But there has to be a better explanation, a better understanding of these experiences, because this God thing was created out of these experiences. So when people understand the source of these experiences, when people understand why they have dreams, why they dream, and understand the kind of dream they dream, like I tell people that the human mind is able to create AI, right? Human mind created AI. And just look at the capabilities of AI. If the human mind can create such a massive tool, that means the human mind is capable of more, right? So the human mind can actually see beyond today and see into the future to an extent. Yes. All right. I have those experiences. You can't just explain it away, and you can't just take it away with a wave of the hand and say, just forget about it. Oh, it's not true. It's just no. People have experiences. That is the reason, because this experience is the only explanation that has been given for these experiences, and they believe it is because they just tell them it's beyond you. You can't understand it. Just believe it is God, right? It is a particular being that is bigger than you that is making this to happen, that is making this to be. Right. And then that seed sown in them generates more of those experiences, because whatever your mind has conceived, it's able to produce to a great extent. See that? So the seed is sown in the mind is conceives it and begins to work on it and begins to produce something out of it. That is how powerful, all right? That's how powerful the mind of man is. So you can't just dismiss it. You can't just tell them that, okay, there's no God and all that. We have to go beyond that. We have to go beyond that to make them understand, because what is the root of this God thing? Where did it come from? How did it, come to be? From the holy books, you can see that it's a product of the mind of man. How is it a product of the mind of man? We need to explain it. You need to let these people know about it. And that is part of what I'm doing, to help people understand that this thing called God was created by man and is the most dangerous weapon that man, ever created. Until we are able to disarm that weapon, just like if you watch movies, you see bomb program somewhere, and then you see the bomb expert comes in slowly, meticulously, paying attention to detail, disarms the bomb. That is how we will be able to disarm this dangerous weapon. And we must disarm it using our minds also, not our emotions, Using our minds, we can disarm this bomb right from the text of these, scriptures that were written, because from the text, you see the source of all that, revelations, dreams, visions, and all that. That's the source of all this, of the God thing. And we have this, those of us who've not been able, who didn't, those of us who didn't give the world a particular God to worship and all that from our experience, who did not create a God out of our experiences. We can do that. Anybody can do that. That's why you have so many religions. And even within that God, for instance, the Jewish God, there are other, gods created out of people's imaginations. They reimagine the thing when it doesn't favor them. Maybe when the originator of that God, whatever he's doing is not favoring them, they reimagine it, right? They reimagine it and create their own version of that God. You have different versions of Jesus. The one the Gnostics believe is not the same that the Anglicans believe, not the same Jesus that the Catholics believe, and all that. But when they want to fight against um, science, they claim it's all one God. But within them, the fight is there because this thing is a product of the mind of man, to create God and all that. So it's actually this God thing is actually created from the mind of man. And what is its source? From man's experiences, right? Experiences that man was not able to explain during the primitive years of the formation of man and all that. But today, we have no excuse to believe such superstition because we have so much information at our disposal, historical information at our disposal, the history of thousands upon thousands of generations have been they are at our disposal. So we have no excuse to be ignorant, to still be following this delusion that there's one God somewhere and all that. And one thing that makes it even easy is that there are different versions of this God thing, different versions of it. That's to tell you that this thing is not, true. You see that there's one particular supreme being seated somewhere, because you have different versions of it in different tribes. It has empowered tribes to go to war with other tribes and destroy them, take their lands and all that. So this thing is still very much alive in the world, and we have to stand up to it. It is time we actually stand up to it and deal with it. You see that? By opening up people to understand the source of this thing, the actual source of this thing, and how it metamorphosed into what it is today. So, with sound historical information, we can be able to destroy the very roots, of this God delusion. If we actually want a better world, except we are hypocritical about it, except we are not serious about it, except we just want to chase clout. But beyond chasing clout with the knowledge and understanding we have today, we need to stand up and do more. See that? And do more. We need to do a lot of explaining. We need to do a lot of research, we have a lot of explaining to do to help people understand these things and know that this God delusion isn't helping the world in any way, especially in Africa. So I call upon every enlightened person to join me as we go on the journey of helping Africans to understand that there is no God out there in the sky that is going to help them. No God out there in the sky that is helping anybody. It's all everything that's happening in this world right now, the wars, goodwill, whatever is generated by man, and we all have, equal opportunities in the world. And so we have to now come together as human beings and decide our future and decide how we live together, what we do together, how we do it, and all that. Not based on some religious concepts or religious laws that were instituted by primitive people. And it's a shame that at this age and time, most of the world's population still believe primitive tales to be true, and their lives are guided by primitive ideas. Even at this time that science has exposed, this thing, does it not bother you that at this level, with all the information we have at our disposal, so many human beings are still that primitive? Doesn't it bother you? Why is it still so? Because the people that are enlightened have not done enough to actually bring down the most dangerous weapon ever created by man, which is God. We just dismiss it. That's why I love Christopher Hitchens. He's kind of like a mentor to me, and I want to follow his footsteps. To open up religion the more for people to see actually what it is, not just um, just dismissing it as just mere superstition and all that. It is a product of the mind of man, and you have to enter into that mind. You have to, the mind that produced this superstition. What was he thinking? As in, how did this come out of his mind? And all that. See that? Because all of us have a mind too. So we have to dissect it. We have to open it up the more. You see that? We all miss Christopher Hitchens. I miss him so much. He was, something else. I just wish I met him, before, he left the world. I just wish I met him. But I'm glad that his tapes survived and I was able to listen to his tapes, and they're very, very inspiring. So it is time that we rise. I'm looking forward to many Christopher Hitchens in Africa to rise, not just Africa, in America, in all over the world, so that we can be able to put this God delusion to where it belongs, because it's a very dangerous weapon. And if we don't tackle it, we are doomed in this 21st century. Just think of people armed with the God delusion and also armed with technology. You can't beat them when people are armed with this superstition and also armed with technology, both together. Wow. It's really something else that we cannot allow to happen. Just think about the population of people who believe in this God delusion, who are ruled by this God delusion. It is time that we begin to do more. All right, so the greatest of the most dangerous weapon ever created by man is God, which is the foundation for all religions, the foundation for religion. And you can see how dangerous religion is. Religion has done more harm to our society than any other weapon, created by man. It controls virtually every area of people's lives. Talk about marriage, talk about the personal lives and all that. And that's one of the reasons why the world is still in serious chaos. That's why the world is still in serious chaos. So I'm going to end it here for today. Um, Thank you very much for watching, those of you who joined in. And like I said before, you can support us, to do more. If you enjoy this live, just give us a like and then share for others to watch it also. Thank you very much. I'm signing out right now. See you in the next live session. Thank you.